The Associated Press ran a story about how a Hawaiian monk seal was taken from the wild after it attacked many young pups that were just newborn. They took it to a aquarium both in Honolulu and then are deciding whether or not to transfer it to Los Angeles in an effort to conserve the species as well as still allow this one to live. We're here with Les Harper, the energy volunteer, energy and environmental volunteer, and we're going to talk about wildlife management. So first of all, what exactly is wildlife management?
Wildlife management is man's influence on wildlife, whether it be restricting hunting, putting laws in place that limit fish nets in the oceans, or anything that is going to affect the sustainability of wild animals.
Okay. So is it always a good thing, or are there times where it's more damage than it is, or than it is good?
Well, humans are fallible. We're far from perfect, and unfortunately, when it comes to nature, we still are learning a lot. They're still finding species of animals, which is phenomenal if you think of all the places that we've been on this earth. But we've still got lots to learn. Sometimes it works out very well. Sometimes it is a poor effort. Hawaii is a perfect example. Pretty much every animal that is animal, flower, plant, insect that's on this island was introduced at some point in time, and some have been introduced by man successfully, and some not so. Good example is we had a rat problem. Norwegian rats, black rats being introduced to the island. So the idea was to bring the mongoose in because the mongoose would kill the rats. Well, rats are out at night, they're nocturnal, and mongoose are day animals. So unless they meet halfway through, it just didn't work out. And as you can see, it hasn't been a good management process.
Yeah. So would you say that Hawaii does a good job of conservation and management, or why not?
Well, we've occupied these islands for the last 200 years, and science has gone through stages where they had very limited understanding of what was going on and basically kind of thrust situations at nature, and we've learned that we have to do a lot more observing, a lot more watching, and understanding of what's going on before we move anything forward. And I would say that we're getting better and better at it. Generally speaking, because it's an island, there's a lot of inspectors that keep an eye on all the produce, anything that comes in. When you fly in, you get an agriculture report that you have to fill in. So they're doing their best to control it to their best possible means.
Okay. And then would you say that wildlife management is something that the government should do or take part in, or is it something more that citizens or other groups like NOAA should take care of, or maybe both?
Well, it's often initiated almost as a joint effort. Statistically, the government does most of the work. They're the ones that count the animals. They're the ones that keep track of how many of a particular species around. But you get local initiatives where people will want to save a certain species. Like back home in Canada, we have a bird called the whooping crane, and it was down to the less than 50 birds. And through a joint government and private enterprise, they have pretty much restored the bird population to a working level. The buffalo, there was very, very few left, except for a few calves in northern Idaho, Montana area, and through private individuals, they were able to maintain the species, the animals that were there, and now there's literally thousands of them around. So it's just you got to have people that are interested and passionate about these sort of things. If it's just strictly a government policy, governments have cutbacks, they have other things that take priority a lot of the time. So interested citizens, people who have the desire to keep certain animal populations strong, need to get involved and show their passions.